Hey everyone, Brian Von VA back at it again, representing Mr. Daddy Papa Bear Ripper. Today we're going to be exploring a topic that I haven't actually seen in my 4+ years of D&D experience, knowledge, and reading. Stories of random NPCs whom the party elevated to become main story characters. If you have a story to share, leave it down in the comments below. Our paladin had the background of being a Harper. My non-Harper monk was supposed to meet a contact to deliver a coded message from our party's benefactor. I didn't want to split from the party until I knew what inn we were going to be meeting up at, so Paladin broke off and hunted the guy down first. Because the Paladin had dragged the contact off, my monk was unable to find him to deliver the message. She made Gary, the barkeep, her go-to guy for anything that needed to be handled quietly. He got promoted within the Harpers repeatedly due to our actions and ended up becoming a full field agent. Gary became Frontline's informant for 2 major plot threads. Then the Paladin tried to cast Sending to him while we were in a dangerous location and had been warned such spells would be dangerous. She broke his brain and he's insane now. Poor guy. DM here. I've come to expect a lot from my players. From coming up with creative ways to deal with encounters, dealing with NPCs, etc. However, Jackson is a special case. In our current campaign, I planned for him to be some low-life thug the party was to interrogate to get information on some bandits that had held up in an abandoned fort north of the city. I figured one of the characters would kill him outright after they got what they wanted. After threatening his life and breaking one of his legs, they got what they needed and intended to kill him. Instead, Barrick, a dragon-born monk, stepped in and defended Jackson and claimed he would be more helpful to them alive as he knew of any possible traps or dangers they would come across in the fort. The rest of the party, reluctantly agreed. Barrick gave Jackson a crutch to walk with and later fixed his leg. Jackson traveled with the group for a while, practically defenseless, since they had confiscated all of his equipment, save for his leather armor, until the group encountered their first of several big bad evil guys, an evil drow warlock who had enslaved the bandits to find the necessary components for a ritual to unleash an ancient demon from captivity in order to plunge the world back into chaos. During the fight, Barak, who had been Jackson's only friend, goes down. Before the warlock can finish him off, Jackson, without hesitation, jumps in the way of an eldritch blast and nearly dies from his injuries. After the fight, Henry, the paladin, stabilizes and heals Jackson. After talking with him, he discovers Jackson's role as a spy working for the king to preserve peace. Jackson had stumbled upon the plot to unleash such a monstrosity into the realm and learned while they had stopped one sect of this cult, there would be more, and if they were too slow, an invasion was imminent. Through examination of Jackson's findings while undercover, as well as seized documents from the church, the group exterminated all local sects of the cult and discovered a high priest by the name of Ralph Eagleton had been the one who not only hired the warlock, was also linked to several recent disappearances, many of whom were used as sacrifices. The party confronted the priest, and before he could finish his ritual, Jackson notched an arrow right between his eyes, preventing an apocalypse. Afterwards, Jackson became an essential part of the group, as well as a friend who would tag along if any assistance was needed, whether it be with traps, gathering information on enemies, or backup in a bar fight. The crew of the Sea Wyvern has this NPC on board. His name is Avner Miravanchi. Since the Van de Boren family and the Miravanchi family were both financing the expedition to the Isle of Dread to find the lost colony of Farshore, it was only natural that each house would send a member of their family to manage and observe the mission they paid for. On one hand, we have Lavania Van der Boren, an adventurous and well-mannered noblewoman that financed us from the start, with whom we developed a bond of trust. On the other hand, the Miravanchi family sent forth the young, snotty, and pretentious Avner, a cadet son of the house. He was mostly known for drinking, gambling, and blowing his money on prostitutes in whatever crappy town he could roll some dice or woo some lady. So, yeah, the guy was insufferable and flirts extensively with every female member of the crew, up until the moment when the paladin took him under his wing and tried to teach him about the way of chivalry and heroism. Soon after, the young noble starts apologizing for his previous behavior and becomes way more self-conscious about his past, and acknowledges his fear of being in battle too. Once again, the paladin comforts him, explaining that fear walks side by side with a warrior, but never dominates him. Most of the times, it turns into the push a warrior needs to defend the things and people he holds dear. Slowly and surely, the group starts mellowing to the idea of Avner being part of the group. And that's when we got boarded by pirates. See, on the way to Farshore, the Sea Wyvern gets attacked by the Knossos, a colossal ship of the pirate alliance known as the Scarlet Brotherhood. Now, this ship in particular was a sight to behold. Think of an immense galleon, pushed forward by thousands of long oars, with 2 keels and a frontal battering ram that sustained a deployable boarding plank. The crew of this ship are a group of masked mercenary assassins with armor made of golden discs and linen. Commanding the crew of assassins is the Scarlet Brotherhood admiral known as Ox, a monstrous blackguard wielding a massive butcher's knife. His armor is cast from blackened steel, and a Glasgow smile adorns his scar-covered face. The guy was human, but you could tell from afar that his soul was utterly monstrous. The Sea Wyvern gets boarded, and it's clear from the start that the Wyvern's crew is going to have their behind served on a platter. Paladin dies, the sorcerer dies, and in all of this, Avner is paralyzed by fear on the deck. Wielding his lance, he sees Ox walking towards him.
"Are you going to fight me, boy?"
sneers the blackguard. Avner runs below deck, still gripping his lance. Ox cackles and slowly walks in the opposite direction to make short work of the remaining members of the Wyvern's crew. And that's when Avner's lance shish kebabs him from behind, as Avner charges on horseback, lifting up the blackguard and pinning him against the left figurehead of the Knossos. Unable to move, Ox then gets bombarded by magic as the young noble gets out of the way, and a very angry cleric, who had both feelings for the sorcerer and saw the paladin as a brother, goes full-on Flammenwaffe on the blackguard's sorry behind. From that point onward, Avner Miravanci has become a fully fledged member of the Wyvern's crew, going as far as to lead the charge against pirates as soon as we reached Farshore, and to even go against his family when his uncle revealed himself as being in league with the Scarlet Brotherhood. Sweet, precious Avner, we took a whoring, gambling wreck and believed in him, and he has become a literal knight in shining armor. Makes you think about what wonders we can do with the goblin pirate in our group. Ooh, now that's another story I'm excited for. I have a strange NPC I use in most of my games. We playfully call him the interdimensional cheese merchant. I think I've heard of this. His name is Torvat. He's a dairy merchant based loosely on Tver from Fiddler on the Roof, Russian accent and all. What makes Torvat unique among the random NPCs the party has met is that he has a special magic item that allows him to spawn a simulacrum of himself whenever someone mentions cheese. This has been a running gag for nearly a year in the campaign I'm currently running, to the point where the party members will literally spell out the word cheese rather than say it. What I didn't expect, however, was for one of my players to decide to use the dairy merchant as an important part of their plan to help overthrow a government. One of the party members is on a mission to liberate his country from the oppression of its current ruler, whom the party believes was installed by allies of the big bad evil guy. The party needed a plan to get inside the palace, or at least to get a decent look at it. They came up with a few plans, and one of their plans was to have Torvat scout the place for them while operating a cheese stall within the palace courtyard. That way he can have access to the delivery tunnels most people wouldn't have access to, and he can smuggle the party inside the palace easily. Torvat, for his part, revealed to the party that his whole reason he sells cheese is because his daughter loved cheese. When she died, he vowed to make the world a better place in the way he knew best, by selling the best cheese in the world to anyone who wanted it. So when the party asked for his help, he saw it as a way to participate in making the world a better place, and readily agreed to help them. I'm gonna cry. Also, I love their plan because it's awesome to see the party use one of my running gags to help them with a serious part of the plot. Tomigan was a self-proclaimed adventurer who made money by telling the stories of his made-up heroic actions in taverns. The PCs took a liking to him and carried him through a few dungeons. By the end, he was knighted and turned into an actual hero. Allow me to introduce Dave, not the one you guys know, but the one for the story. So, session 1 of my campaign, the party was looking for a ranger who went missing while helping the local wizard gather the things he needs for various spells. While the party was looking, I rolled for various random encounters. Each of these would provide a different clue to help the party find the ranger. In one random encounter I rolled, there was a beggar who would point them towards the way the ranger went. The party found this beggar and immediately began asking in-depth questions of him that I didn't know how to answer. Things like, "Where are you from? How old are you? Who is your daddy and what does he do?" etc. Now, normally I have these explanations, but this was a random beggar who I didn't think they would interact with much. So I came up with the excuse he had amnesia and couldn't remember his life. The party immediately thought that he was the most important NPC of all time. Cast sleep on the old man, strapped him to the Goliath barbarian's back, and affectionately named him Dave. I can't believe this. The party worships Dave like a god and have bought him over 500 cookies so far. They also think he's the big bad evil guy, so there's that. He is not, by the way. He's just an old man with amnesia. That's it. That's all I have for him. Dave now goes on all adventures with the party, still strapped to the Goliath's back. That's actually kind of a cute story, and there's a real potential there to make Dave into something beautiful. So, hey, 10 out of 10 for that DM to be at least kind of fun, while the party is just completely crazy. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and roll for that goddamn critical on ringing the bell. Why ring the bell? Because if you don't, you won't get notified directly when we post a video, or in case we make a short, or sometimes go live, which we haven't done in a long time, but you never know, we might. So ring that bell and you'll get complete, utter, loving notifications. That said, if you want to help out Daddy Algorithm, please kill the algorithm demons. Leave a comment down below with your story about an NPC that you've elevated to become a main story character, or just an NPC that you've revered enough that you made them something special when they were basically just kind of a placeholder or a plot hook. Now, also, if you'd like to come say hi to me, you're more than welcome to. Brian Von VA. I'm over there on Twitch. You can also see my little website in the description below, brianvonva.com. Come say hi. I'm a really nice guy, I promise. I haven't done this in a while, but to end this video, I'd like to also include a double up on the comments, something that I haven't really asked any of you for quite a bit. I want to know, because we have so many new people, so many brand new faces to the MrRipper community. What is something that makes you happy every day? Something, it could be something in D&D, it could be something at school, something at work, something your mother or father told you, your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, your wife, your husband, whomever. What is something that makes you happy every day? I think the thing that we need to realize is, if we're ever going to feel better about this crazy wild-ass world we're living in, or even to make a new friend, the best thing to do is to just sometimes say out loud, hey look, I like seeing the flowers in the morning, or I like smelling the rain after a fresh downpour, or, you know, some people just like hearing a sound of a car backing up. We don't know. But if you guys and gals and non-binary pals all try to just pitch together, say what you like, what makes you happy in the comments below, I guarantee it's going to make somebody's day. Plus, I just kind of want to get to know all of you too. So I love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we will see you again soon.